Episode 2 of Slow Horses has just been released, and following the massive twist at the end of the season premiere where we saw that River wasn't in fact killed by David and he was instead heading to France to find out who Adam Lockhead was. This episode delved deeper into the reasoning behind why David was a target, and it also showed us that the attack on Westacre Shopping Centre could be connected in some kind of way, meaning that there's a larger organisation at play. So with that, let's get right into the episode and break down all that there was to take away from it. Here is Slow Horses Season 4, Episode 2, Ending Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The ending explained. In terms of developing the plot forward, this episode did a good job with that. However, in terms of providing new clues as to the motive behind why this organization was after David Cartwright, there wasn't actually that much that was developed. The start of this episode took us back to the scene that unfolded in episode 1, where David believed that he killed his grandson River, but we pretty much saw the retelling from River's perspective, and it went down how all of us kind of imagined. River walked in, saw his grandfather had killed somebody that looked like him, planted his identification on Adam's body, and then took his grandfather to Standish so that she could keep an eye on him whilst he went off to investigate. River went to the town of Lavande, where it was a relatively sleepy town, and one which had a suspicious edge to it. There weren't many tourists, and the locals didn't seem too receptive to River being there. However, once he went to Le Blanc Rouge, the coffee shop that Adam was at a couple of days earlier, he found out that Adam's house was located in Les Arbres. This is where the ending of the episode was focused. When River was in the house, it was pretty much abandoned, but it almost came across as though it was like a headquarters to the organization that not only carried out the attack on Westacres, but also the people that wanted to kill David. This is because of the sheer amount of weapons that were there, the books that were specifically focused on war, and the gym that was there too, looking like it was a hub of indoctrination and training. One would have to assume that there were once children that lived there too, because there were drawings that were on the table, and also a mural that was on the wall that was the complete opposite to the environment. A mural that almost symbolized peace and tranquility. As River opened up a book titled On War, which is focused on military strategy, written by Prussian General Karl von Clausewitz, mostly after the Napoleonic Wars between 1816 and 1830, he found a photo of 4 people on a hunting trip, and 3 of the people in that photo were individuals that we'd seen before. One was Adam Lockhead, the person that was pretending to be River that was now dead. The second was Robert Winters, the person that was behind the Westacre Shopping Centre attack. And also, we had the American man that was on the phone to the French hitman that was outside David's house, that same individual that attacked River right at the end. This confirms that both of the events that occurred are connected, and it's all stemming from a single organization. This organization clearly wanted to get rid of the building as they were prepared to burn it down, but at the same time, they wanted to kill River in the process. So it begs the question of why? What are they covering up now? This organization studies texts that are focused on combat, military strategy, and war. Plus, we also found out that Robert Winters was an MI5 identity. Well, technically a cold body, which essentially means that he was a ready-to-go identity with official documents. So he must have had some kind of experience in the field at some point too. This makes me wonder if his involvement in this group is what bridges the connection to David Cartwright. During River and David's encounter at the beginning of the episode, one of the questions that David asked River to make sure that he knew that it was him was that he wanted him to confirm what year he met his KGB counterpart, and also what he did with him. The cold body identity of Robert Winters was created at the tail end of the Cold War, so I wonder if David's work during that time is what's stemming the hunt for his blood. It just seems too deliberate that within the same episode we found out that David had a KGB counterpart that he was close with, and Robert Winters' identity was created during the tail end of the Cold War, so I think there's more to come of that. The French assassin on the phone mentioned that there was another old man that needed to be killed and that he should remember why it was that he needed to die. So that's something that I imagine we're going to see the repercussions of in the next episode when a fresh body turns up and starts to get investigated. It was also said that they worked alongside David, so David is key to why these attacks are unfolding. The final thing that we saw in the episode was River getting into an altercation with the American man that was almost leading the operation against David, but River was saved by the French person that was monitoring him outside of Le Blanc Rouge. We don't know who this person is or why it is that they want to look out for River, but he saved him. I presume that he knocked him out so that he wouldn't be able to find out where he was heading to and the route, but the clear thing to take away is that he seems to be looking out for him. This person was also on the phone to a higher up earlier on in the episode, so there seems to be 2 different organizations at play here. Back in London, Lamb's giving off the confidence and bravado that he's one step ahead, even though he's one step behind. But he's tasked the new recruit to use her database that she has access to find out David's involvement in France and why there could be people out there that want him to be killed. So realistically, River's on the case and Lamb is on the case as well. My review of the episode. I thought this was a good episode of the show. I thought it developed on nicely from the premiere and built upon the two separate stories well, ultimately bridging them together in a mysterious way, with gaps still being present. Lamb had some great moments in this episode for sure, whether that be the impatient, inconsiderate nature that he had towards David when looking to find out answers, the humorous approach that he had when he revealed to everyone that River wasn't actually dead, and even small things like when he just told the waiter to pour all of the wine into the glass when the waiter was waiting for him to take a sip and taste it. Lamb just comes across like a real human, and that's because the writing is just so strong and the performance from Gary Oldman is just top tier. I saw he's been nominated for an Emmy, so I wonder if he'll get it this time round. River's journey in this episode was one that was really engaging and interesting to follow too. There's a lot of mystery around what's going on with him, and only having the odd moment with him in France and then cutting away added to the thought-provoking nature of what we were seeing. I'm glad we got the clarity over how David ended up at Standish's place. It was kind of obvious how it happened, but seeing the evening from River's perspective was a nice way of clearing up the events and providing an answer after the entire first episode led us down one pathway and then ultimately pulled the rug from under us immediately after. I think it's obvious that the cover-up of Robert Winter's identity stemming from MI5 is going to be leaked in some capacity, whether that be by Claude or even Geety. The look that the person in the office had as the documents were being scanned showed that this isn't completely buried, and it's going to come back to haunt somebody within MI5, whether that be Diana or Claude. The threat of another attack is something that's looming in the distance, and with Robert Winters saying in his video that everybody would hear from his brothers soon, I think another attack is imminent. I also think there has to be more brothers out there, as what the organization planned feels too grand for just these 4 people in that photo. Slow Horses Season 4 is shaping up to be a really engaging one after only 2 episodes so far. It's a show that contains mystery, suspense, action, slight humor, and all-round great performances and writing. So it has you on the edge of your seat guessing what is exactly going on and how it's going to develop. With the next episode being titled Penny for Your Thoughts and the synopsis saying that River is trapped in France, it shows that maybe this person may not be on his side like we thought, or he simply can't leave because the passport would flag up on the system. As we know, the leader of the organization was able to trace that, so for now, River is trapped. But with Lamb looking into everything as well, I feel like we could see some important revelations occurring in episode 3. So, there you have it, Slow Horses Season 4 Episode 2, Ending Explained. If you want to see more videos on Slow Horses, then click on the card in the top corner. There's an entire playlist there where I'm breaking down every episode of Season 4, or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What did you think of this episode? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning into the video, and I'll see you in the next one.